this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. I heard about the protesters at Mother Emmanuel AME Church in Charleston while President Joe Biden was giving a speech. In the midst of his speech, some Palestinian protesters stood up and started screaming about him calling for a ceasefire in Gaza. I'm not big on these politicians coming to these churches, but a lot of black people really like that, and we just have to accept it. A lot of black people like having these politicians, especially the white ones, coming to their churches, sitting up in the pulpit, smiling and clapping their hands and trying to sing the songs and acting like they're really into the service and into the people. A lot of black people like that, and many of us don't, but it is what it is. And in the midst of those Palestinian protesters demanding that he call for a ceasefire, black people started yelling 4 more years, 4 more years, 4 more years for Joe Biden to drown out maybe 3 or 4 protesters. We don't do that in our churches. We don't do that in our churches when somebody is up delivering a message. And you definitely not going to do it with a black preacher. He'd go off on you like you've never been gone off on before. But Joe Biden was invited to speak there is what I'm saying. And if you invite somebody into your church to speak, then you owe that person, the congregation owes that person respect and attention. Now, I'm insulted that they will go up in a black church and create that kind of disruption, because the people, the members of Mother Emmanuel Church in South Carolina, do not make decisions about what the Israeli army is going to do in Israel. Everybody understands their passion, and I sympathize with the people of Gaza too. But black Americans don't storm into anybody's church. Even if they had been outside the church holding up signs, that would have been, to me, you don't go to a church to do that, but that would have been more appropriate. Demonstrate outside the White House. They used to do it outside the White House until they put that fence up. But they're going to come to a black church talking about something that has nothing to do with black people. And I got this article from MSN, and this is a black writer, and this is what he had to say. He writes, "One should never be upset about people protesting for what's right at Mother Emmanuel. The church's existence, especially after its original building was reduced to ashes by the ruling powers, makes it a testament to the necessity of protest." Yes, protest for your own issues. Biden and Haley speak vacuously about freedom as the attacks on black voting strength continue and attempts to fight race-based disparities are attacked and innocent people are being killed and forced out of their homes by Israel, a country that Biden's administration is actively supporting. Well, then they need to be fighting him in Washington, D.C., where those policies are being made. Those policies are not being made at Mother Emmanuel. While there may be some who believe those yelling at Biden were out of order, yes, I do, decorum should never take a backseat to righteous anger. I agree with that. Decorum. But my feeling is, if everybody is going to church protesting issues that they don't like, and these people just happen to turn up at Mother Emmanuel this day, then I say, well, okay, yeah, people are just going to church and expressing righteous anger about something they believe is wrong, if that's going on in everybody's church. But I just think that for them to turn up at a black church because Joe Biden is speaking there, I just think that's a sign of disrespect. And also, It was similar to when Betty DeVos was the Secretary of Education under Donald Trump's administration. A lot of liberal white people didn't like her, and they wanted to harass her. And one day she was speaking at a school in Harlem, a black school, black and Hispanic children, and they showed up at that school screaming and creating chaos because they didn't like her. I felt the same way about them doing that. They're going to wait till she comes to a school in a black neighborhood to come and protest, creating a disturbance in black people's environment, but won't create that same disturbance in white people's environment. So I have a problem with that. They quickly removed them from the church, so that's to their credit. But they shouldn't have had to do it. But we don't make it, I don't believe that we speak with a strong enough voice, letting people know that we don't approve of the things they do. We're not your pushover. All of us are not fascinated with you. And your issues are not necessarily our issues. We can sympathize with you without making your issues our issues. We have our own issues to fight. Now, having said all of that, I do sympathize, I'll say this again, with the people in Palestine. But I absolutely do not appreciate people coming into our space, forcing their issues on us when we can't force our issues on them. We have had issues in this country from day one. And nobody comes rushing into our rescue. And they certainly don't disrupt anything they're doing to help us. Now that might be kind of a narrow-minded and selfish point of view. But I just think that fair is fair. And if I'm not doing this to you, then you shouldn't do it to me. Because we don't owe you that. We're not the ones attacking you. You go to the churches of the people who are supporting Biden's programs. Black people are not behind that kind of stuff. Black people are not encouraging a genocide. Our places of worship are sacred to us. We don't behave like that in our churches. And our churches are not free-for-alls for you to come in and impose your political discontent on us. And if we invite somebody into our church, that person is also to be respected. Whether we like or agree with that person or not, it's not for you to come in and disrupt whatever is going on in that church. And I think we need to make this very clear going forward. If the people of Mother Emmanuel want to invite Joe Biden or anybody else into their church, that is their business. And that is not a place for you to barge into with whatever your issues are. And furthermore, since they're so concerned about what's going on in Palestine, why not go over there and fight with the Palestinian people? And then looking at the group, because there was some others that I didn't see at the beginning, there were some young white men in there. See, it would not surprise me at all if these people weren't even concerned about what's going on in Palestine. They just saw an opportunity to come into a black church and show their ass. Then another thing, if they were to go up in a white church like that, they would do that one time. The next time they came up in a white church acting like that, they would have something for them. I don't have any question about that. That's how I feel about it. Someone asked me to speak on that, and this is how I feel about it. I believe they were out of order. It's not like them running to that church and disrupting his speech was going to change anything. I think they were grandstanding. Joe Biden is a Catholic, and he probably goes to church at some point. Why don't they go to that church and protest? Whether I approve of Joe Biden coming to a church and speak or not, it wasn't my church. And I feel like they have a right to invite whomever they want to invite to their church, and people should be respectful. And here's Jim Clyburn standing up with his hand up in the air. Joe Biden has his hand over his heart, and these other two black preachers skinning and grinning and clapping. So I guess they're the ones who ginned up the crowd to say, 4 more years, 4 more years. But that's what they've signed on for. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think about the video. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video, and as always, have a great day.